Welcome back to my vessel of light. Tonight a quiet object becomes a signal. Light revealed a message darkness protected. The hidden note turned an ordinary table into a small compass, and the direction favored tenderness over speed. Maya Okafor rented a studio that came furnished with secondhand patience. The lamp by the window leaned like a tired sentinel. The shade threw honey-colored light, and the table collected keys, receipts, and unmade decisions politely. She worked late shifts at the bakery where dawn happened in bowls. Flour like fog, butter like weather. Customers believed in early courage. Maya believed in naps and small rituals that keep the body honest without applause. The lamp wobbled when she wiped dust each Sunday. She meant to tighten the screw and always forgot. One evening, the base slid slightly, and a paper edge peeked out like a shy shoreline near low tide. Maya lifted the base gently and found a folded square. The paper felt older than the lamp, a corner stained by circles of tea. She sat and watched light admit its own conspiracy with the hidden note. She opened it and read without rushing. The message was brief and careful. Not a confession, not a threat. A list with dates and initials. A map of errands and kindnesses. The handwriting looked like someone practicing steadiness. Light revealed the message darkness protected. The hidden note carried a tone she recognized from people who leave things for future kindness. Maya wrote 3 rules on a card: water before wonder, breath before conclusion, kindness before story. She placed the card under the salt shaker and stood. The apartment listened. She decided to test a hypothesis. What if the note belonged less to the lamp and more to the practice of paying close attention? The list began with return books to Library North, then buy pears for Mrs. G, then call M about that door. The initials did not match anyone she knew, but the shape of care fit her calendar like oxygen. She did not chase meaning, she practiced it. The next morning she returned overdue cookbooks to the branch near the river. The librarian smiled at her labeling. The receipt printed a future date that felt like permission. On the walk home, she bought 3 pears and placed them on the building exchange shelf. A neighbor later left a thank you sticky note beside the fruit. The hallway felt like a pull shared by doors and shoes. Maya began a small notebook called Lamp Notes. Each day she wrote 1 act of maintenance or kindness inspired by the list. She did not pretend to be a detective. She pretended to be present, which is harder and braver. On Wednesday, the bakery furnace faltered and panic rehearsed its chorus. Maya remembered the 3rd line from the note. Call M about that door. She stepped outside, breathed, and phoned the landlord named Miguel, who arrived with patient tools and a steady grin. Miguel fixed a door hinge that had groaned for months, then checked the oven pilot. The bread rose like a good apology. The manager praised Maya for timing. Maya thanked the mysterious author whose list kept saving ordinary mornings from louder storms. That night, she studied the lamp like a friend with stories. The base had a small scratch shaped like a comma. The shade held a pale ring near the top. The switch clicked softly as if practicing good manners. She sat by the window and inventoried what the hidden note had changed. Less rushing, cleaner corners, repaired squeaks, extra pears where pears could do magic. The lamp did not glow brighter. She simply met its warmth with equal attention. On Friday, a neighbor named Priya knocked with a package accidentally delivered to Maya. They traded smiles and small talk. The lamplight drifted across the table and found the note. Priya asked about the paper. Maya explained the practical mystery. Priya said she once found a tucked note inside a borrowed book that simply said, "Water the plant before you leave." It had saved a spider plant, and a Tuesday, they laughed, then agreed to trade general instructions whenever necessary for survival and civility. The next morning, Maya cleaned the socket and tightened a loose screw. Respect means bolts that are not asked to perform miracles. She replaced the bulb with a warmer one. The light settled like a friend choosing the right chair at last. She copied the list onto a fresh card and left the original under the base. The copy moved to her fridge. The kitchen benefited from reminders with soft voices. Return, buy, call. None of the verbs came wrapped in threat. On a rainy afternoon, she visited the thrift store where the lamp likely began its second life. The owner remembered the donation, an estate clear out on a windy day. A woman named Gloria had lived carefully and left quietly. The lamp survived the sorting. Maya whispered thank you to a stranger she would never meet, then bought a small shade cover stitched with blue thread. The pattern resembled rivers meeting. At home, the lamp wore it lightly, dignified, ready to keep company through ordinary storms and victories. She created a ritual called Under Lamp Time. 10 minutes after dinner to fix one small thing or send one small message. The hidden note became a teacher of maintenance. She learned that repair is a love language spoken fluently by calendars and screws. The bakery entered holiday hours, long lines, late nights, trays like constellations. Maya taped her 3 rules above the prep table: water before wonder, breath before conclusion, kindness before story. Coworkers borrowed the rhythm and discovered fewer mistakes and kinder sentences during rushes. One coworker named Leon asked about the phrase. Maya shared the lamp story without drama. Leon laughed and said kitchens hide notes too. They call them standard operating grace. They both agreed that grace runs on lists with verbs that do not shout. The list mentioned repair the blue chair. Maya had avoided sitting in it because it wobbled like a thought at midnight. She found a tutorial and tightened brackets. The chair thanked her by existing quietly, which is a chair highest art. She then wrote a new line underneath, "Write to Mom about sleeplessness." The hidden note did not forbid additions and invited a conversation. Maya sent a short message and received a reply full of tea suggestions and a picture of the family cat behaving like a clock. The lamp circle of light became a geography for decisions. Bills sorted more easily. Dishes faced reality. Loose coins found a jar. Keys learned a home. She realized clutter often hides when attention scatters. Light collects the pieces and gives them jobs of kindness. Priya returned with a thermos of soup and a story. Her grandmother believed lamps listen better than walls. They ate near the light and traded recipes. Cardamom traveled across the table. Pepper negotiated peace with ginger. The room approved with patient warmth. At closing one night, the bakery stereo failed and the room felt too large. Maya placed her phone near the oven and played a slow playlist. The dough seemed calmer, or perhaps they all breathed together. Either way, kindness rose with cinnamon and stubborn hope. The hidden note taught boundaries too. One line read, "Say no to the extra shift if your knees already said no." She tested it. The manager blinked and then nodded. The next day, another coworker gladly took the hours and everybody won. On Sunday, Maya invited neighbors for tea and called it the Lamp Circle. Each person brought a small note with a gentle instruction that had helped them. Place phone face down during soup, stand in doorway, and breathe before entering a difficult room. They laughed and practiced. The table filled with notes like tiny lighthouses. People left with pockets fuller and shoulders lower. The lamp shone on all of it without asking for thanks. Maya placed the hidden note at the center and promised to keep listening to its grammar of care. She wondered about the initials and dates, decided they mattered less than the architecture of kindness. Still, she visited the library and checked a community board. A flyer announced a memorial for a teacher named Gloria. The dates matched the note's seasons gently. Maya attended and listened to stories about a woman who repaired hope with schedules and tea. The speakers laughed softly. Someone mentioned a lamp with a scratch shaped like a comma. Maya touched her pocket where a copy of the list waited and felt included without intruding. After the memorial, she walked home in a small procession of umbrellas. The city windows practiced glowing. Her apartment welcomed her with the familiar circle of light. She placed the program under the base like another layer of gratitude beneath the hidden note. The next morning, she added a new verb to the fridge card. Return to yourself before answering. The day complied by softening around the edges. Emails received clarity. Texts received patience. The bakery received a Maya who remembered the human pace despite timers and lines. Miguel stopped by to check the oven and showed her how the thermostat reads truth slowly. It needs time to believe the flame. Maya wrote a parallel for her heart. Read truth slowly. Let warmth arrive, then decide. The lamp hummed approval without making a sound. She created a micro-practice called Inventory of Light. 3 lines each night. What the lamp helped me see, what I repaired or released, what I will carry kindly into tomorrow. The lists look like breadcrumbs leading back to a quieter kind of courage. Priya asked to borrow the lamp for a weekend photo shoot about small domestic altars. Maya agreed and sent the hidden note along. The apartment felt different without the circle. It taught her that practices should survive travel. She kept the routine with a candle and a timer. When the lamp returned, the note carried a new soft crease and a smear of turmeric. Evidence of soup around art. Maya smiled and added one more rule. Celebrate stains that prove life. Perfection cannot teach us what a smudge can teach kindly. A storm cut power for an hour. The room turned into a camp of breathing and blankets. Maya used the downtime to write letters by hand. Returning to ink felt like hearing footsteps on familiar wood. The lamp waited politely to resume its ordinary miracle. After lights returned, she checked under the base and found another fragment, a tiny slip of paper stuck to the felt. A single word handwritten, continue. She placed it beside the list as if the author had visited to approve her maintenance of meaning. Maya decided to pay the lamp forward without losing it. She tucked a new hidden note under a thrift store lamp across town. The message offered 3 verbs for strangers: return, repair, remember. She left smiling, certain the city could handle more quiet conspiracies. At work, she trained a new hire named Yuki, using the 3-rule cadence: water before wonder, breath before conclusion, kindness before story. Yuki learned fast. The line moved smoother. Customers tasted attention in the pastry layers and left with faces that looked less hunted by clocks. Maya wrote another addition to the fridge card: ask a small question before buying anything. Where will this live and how will it help? The question saved money and floor space. The lamp corner looked roomy without becoming a showroom for austerity. One evening, her mother visited and noticed the lampshade with blue thread. They traced the rivers with their fingers and spoke about the year that felt like low tide. Light made the conversation possible. The hidden note made it generous rather than surgical. Her mother left a small gift on the table, a packet of tea named Restful Current. Maya brewed it and wrote that phrase into the notebook. Restful Current now described her evenings, rarely still, always moving kindly, driven by gravity rather than urgency. The lamp circle gathered again. Each brought a gentle instruction written on a small card. Check the smoke alarm this month. Keep a bandage in your bag. Keep one song for washing dishes slowly. They clipped the cards to a twine line across the wall. They played a game called Pass the Verb. Each person drew a card and shared a time that verb saved a day. Repair, return, breathe, refuse, ask, give, stop. The room learned that tiny words can carry whole bridges when paced by friendship. Maya placed the original hidden note back under the lamp and added the word continue beside the dates, not to declare possession, to mark the ongoing conversation. The lamp had become a public square for quiet decisions that protect tomorrow. She wrote to Gloria in her notebook, "Thank you for leaving a trail instead of a monument. Monuments ask for awe. Trails ask for walking. I can do walking." She closed the book and washed the teacup. Small dishes approve of realistic gratitude. During a difficult week, Maya felt herself rushing toward yes out of guilt. She stood in the lamp circle and repeated her rules aloud. The body listened. She wrote a sentence. "I prefer an honest no to a dishonest yes." The phone stayed quiet and kind. She realized the hidden note had placed an invisible hinge on the room. When the light turned on, options opened. When the light turned off, decisions rested. Rhythm relieved her. She understood that healing often wears the costume of housekeeping and timing. At the bakery, an elderly customer mentioned a broken lamp at home. Maya drew a simple diagram on a napkin, how to tighten a socket safely. The customer laughed and promised to try. The next day, they returned with a thank you and a story about finding an old receipt under the base. Maya smiled at the proof that lamps collect small archives. The world did not need her to decode them all. It only needed her to keep her circle honest and share verbs when useful. She could do that without theatrics. On the first day of spring, she moved the table closer to the window. The lamp did not complain. The circle widened and made room for a small plant with shiny leaves. Priya named it Mercy and watered it with a careful laugh. The hidden note aged gently. Corners softened, edges learned to curl like book pages that traveled. Maya copied the list once more and added a line for future readers. If you find this, try one small repair before bed. Then sleep and trust your lungs. She taped a small pocket under the base to shelter the paper from mopping mishaps. Then wrote inventory of light number 52. Today, the lamp helped me cancel a meeting I wanted to survive rather than enjoy. Tomorrow, I will ask for a better time. If you ever discover a message under a lamp, consider treating it as a set of verbs for courage. Return what needs returning, repair what protests kindly, remember what deserves honor. Then add one line for the next person who needs light. Thank you for being here with my vessel of light. If this story kept you company, like the video so the candle travels farther. Subscribe to my vessel of light and share one small verb your day needs under the lamp tonight.